Dokdo Island is Korea's easternmost territory, boasting untapped natural resources and ample fishing waters, not to mention natural beauty. Since the island was opened to the public in 2005, it's seen an increasing number of visitors, including our very own Ji-hye, who's seen every rock and hill, path and valley. She celebrates this year's Liberation Day from Korea's easternmost Dokdo Island.
Dokdo Island, where Korea sees the first morning light and where untold environmental resources await their use by the nation. This is Korea's easternmost territory. To get there, we drove to Mukho Port, where we boarded a ferry to Ulleungdo Island. From there, another vessel carried us to Dokdo. Anyone can visit as long as the weather cooperates.
And finally, after some 5-hour cruise rides, we have finally landed on Korea's easternmost island of Dokdo. We were lucky that the waves were calm and the weather was nice enough for the boat to set sail today.
Dokdo actually consists of two islets, Dongdo and Seoul. While the western islet, Seoul, is not open to visitors, the eastern one, Dongdo, is and has been since 2005. Since then, the number of visitors has risen consistently.
With Liberation Day ahead, I came with my mother and my 2 daughters. It's been quite overwhelming, emotionally, I mean. I hope this trip will be a valuable experience for my children.
We wanted to visit our country's easternmost territory. We also wanted to show our support for the police guards who defend Dokdo from Japan.
The visitors were allowed to stay on the island for 30 minutes, according to the regulations, after which they left on the ferry they came on. While we boarded a smaller boat for the short ride to Seoul. This islet is home to Dokdo's only 2 residents, but unfortunately, they were not at home. In lieu of a visit, we climbed up the hill for a better view. From the top of Seoul, the view of Dongdo was magnificent. But hanging in the background of any Dokdo visit is history and Japan's false claims to the island. Japan has claimed Dokdo for decades. In its annual defense white paper released earlier this month, Japan once again describes the island as its sovereign territory using the Japanese name Takeshima for a 12th straight year. But Dokdo has been Korean territory for 1,500 years, though the earliest historical documents in existence date back 872 years. And Japan itself explained Korea's sovereignty over Dokdo in a Japanese document from 1870 called the Secret Mission Report on Joseon, using an older name for Korea. It was only when Japan colonized Korea that it took control of Korean territory, and Dokdo was no exception. After surrendering in World War II, Japan returned Korea's independence and the annexed islands on this very day, August 15, 1945. Currently, there are some 40 police guards from Gyeongbuk Provincial Police Agency stationed on Dokdo. The guards stay on the island for 50 days in rotation. They greet visitors and ensure their safety, but most importantly, they protect the nation's territorial integrity.
Our main duty is watching over the coastline with a tactical devices and detecting Japanese Coast Guard and North Korean ships with a radar. And finally, protecting the far east of Korea by communicating Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guards.
But there's also a symbolic reason that Dokdo is guarded by police and not the military.
Regions involved in territorial disputes and conflict are protected by soldiers, but Dokdo is not a region of dispute. It's Korean territory, so it's guarded by us, police, whose main duty is to protect the safety and property of the public.
Dokdo, Korea's easternmost island, is also celebrating its 71st year of independence from Japan's 35 years of colonial rule today, on Liberation Day. Ji-hye, Arirang News, Dokdo Island, Korea.